Oh, hey guys, hop in, come on, it's time to strap in. Strap in for another episode of the Travel Beans in England. We are in Cirencester, which is considered the capital of the Cotswolds.
And we will be staying for the next 2 days with the YHA hostel here, smack bang in the centre of town. And as with all the YHA hostels, it is in a very unique building. This time we are staying in a building that used to be used to store the old barrels from the brewery here.
All the buildings we've stayed in around England so far on this road trips have been ridiculously interesting and nice.
So this morning we're going to go and check out Cirencester before heading out and exploring more of the Cotswolds.
As an English person, it actually blows my mind how many little quaint, stereotypical English little towns there are. Never been to Cirencester. Barely heard of it. Emma can't even pronounce it before every time we speak. I have to go, it's Cirencester, not Cirencester. This was another Roman town, and these kind of places are all over England. On our travels, people are always saying they want to come to England and they think it's like a fairy tale, and I always say it's not like that, it's just chav and pork pies. But actually, there are so many places like Cirencester, or just random places everywhere. I'm going to try and find them all to show you because they're just fantastic.
Alex and I have seen our fair share of religious buildings around the world, and generally after about 5 or 6 of the same style of building, it does get a bit samey and a bit boring. However, we've been outside of the UK and actually outside of Europe for a really long time, so churches are still in that phase for us of still being attractive and interesting. In the centre of Cirencester, they have their parish church, which is absolutely beautiful outside and inside.
When we were travelling, we got really accustomed to street food, and that is one thing that England is really lacking. Maybe the weather, maybe our culture, maybe our food, but we don't really have much street food. So you've come to England, you're hungry, you want something cheap, you want something easy. Well, you can't have street food, but what you can have, go to a bakery. This is where the cheap, delicious foods are lurking, they're hiding. You probably want to try everything from the bakery. This time is one of my personal favourites. We have managed to sneak myself a cheese and bacon turnover. I've never seen these in any other country. It is bacon, cheese, pastry that has been turned over, hence the name. And oh, guys, if you haven't had one of these, what are you doing? I've had some bacon and cheese turnovers in my time. And even if they're dry, they still have this kind of like moist spot in the middle.
They're always very salty.
But these are always good. This one in particular is pretty soft and moist in the middle. So you are getting a nice, crunchy, moist, salty bite all at the same time. Almost an oxymoron with moist and crunchy, but it's not. So now I've got my snack, I'm going to chow down in this car park, and then we are going to get off and explore some of the Cotswolds. It is the largest area of outstanding national beauty in the UK, and the second largest protected area in said place, second only to the Lake District. So, Cirencester, you're lovely, I've enjoyed you, but I'm not here to see you. I'm here to see the nature and the green that the Cotswolds should provide. Come on, guys, strap yourself in, because we're going on a road trip. Does it look nice? Yes. Do I look nice, guys? Back to the montage.
Came through dripping Aquafina, I'm sipping 15, kept a weapon on me. Flow make digits, I'm on my business, stack chicken like what it's gon' be. Crew in the cut, hey, you want us red run when I tell a bit peace. Love is love.
So we've been driving away from Cirencester for about 15-20 minutes now, and we've come to a place called Bibury, which I have to admit, Alex and I have seen a lot of beautiful villages here in the UK, but it has to be one of the most quintessentially British looking entrances we've ever seen coming into a village. It's absolutely stunning and we haven't even properly explored it yet. Bibury is home to one of the most photographed streets in the UK. It's not much of a surprise because actually as you come into Bibury, all you can see are about 4 or 5 massive coaches lining the streets full of tourists. So let's go see what all the fuss is about then. So as it turns out, Cotswolds are pretty damn nice.
This is the iconic street, and when we first got here there was quite a few tourists, but for the last 5 minutes we have had it to ourselves.
I have a lot of students from places like Korea or China who tell me that this is what they picture when they imagine England, and I wish all of England was like this because it's absolutely beautiful.
It definitely feels like something from Harry Potter or from the old classic tales of the past. I can't think of any, so I just made a really generic history. Something very generic. It reminds me of history.
And we've already seen an array of wildlife since we've been here. We've seen a number of different ducks.
Well, I think they're all mallards. Those are both
but there
mallards.
are different kinds of ducks, weren't there?
I think it's just an array of mallards.
We've seen an array of mallards, both male and female. If you know your mallards, you'll know that the male ones are the colourful ones. They're the attractive ones of the group.
It's very similar to travel beans.
Got an ugly duckling and a beautiful swan over there. We've just seen someone walk out of one of these houses, so there must be people that actually live here. Imagine living here. It must cost an absolute fortune.
And then knobheads like us making videos outside your house every single bloody day.
You're welcome.
The more I explore of here, the more, okay, I think it's really like quintessentially English, this idea, the perfect form of England. But I feel so suspicious because I've lived in England a very long time and I know what it looks like. It doesn't look like this. This looks like a movie set.
It's a conspiracy.
It's weird, it doesn't feel like a real place, but I'm seeing real people leaving their houses. They actually live here. But this is not normal. You've got a river running behind me through the village. We've got a classic village pub. Tiny little streets, surrounded by nature. It ticks all of the boxes that this bean loves in a little village. But there's still something about it I just don't trust. I don't trust it, guys. I'm a little bit peckish, so I thought I'd come and check out the pub. That bacon and cheese turnover is not going to keep me fueled all day. I told you I wasn't trusting of this place. I was suspicious. The prices. They're charging £10 for a bloody sandwich. Can you imagine? 2 slices of bread and a bit of wafer thin ham, and I got to pay £10. No. £17 is about the average price for a main course meal. This bean is going hungry.
So according to our extensive research on TripAdvisor, Bidbury is really famous for one thing and one thing only, and that is its trout farm.
And the most picturesque street.
And having the most picturesque street in England. But not only have they enticed us in with their delicious little trouts, but they've also enticed us in with their advertising outside. They are claiming to have homemade ice cream, which is probably the best ice cream in the world. I can't see something like that and then just go about my day as if nothing has happened. I need to test this ice cream.
I wish I could tell you that we just went into the trout farm and had the best ice cream of our lives, as well as some lovely little trouts. But one, the restaurant is closed, so we couldn't even eat some delicious trouts. Disappointing, but okay, let's go and see the farm. They're charging, get this guys, they're charging £4.50 each to go into their farm and you get to feed their fish. I'm not paying to do your bloody job, that's manual labour. Earn less, live less, that's what I say. After the bitter, disgusting disappointment provided by the trout farm, I never thought I'd say that sentence today. I want to see the back of this Bidbury place. It's very lovely. I highly recommend you coming here. But we're gonna drive. Sound like Batman now. Let's go. It has become very overcast in the last half an hour, ruining this lovely winter's day. So we're gonna go and have a little drive, see what's going on in the Cotswolds. I have no idea what's coming next.
Ow. What just happened?
One of the weirdest things has just happened. So just over here is the little river, and by the side there's a pheasant. There was a pheasant, and it was all looking beautiful, and I said to Emma, oh wow, there's a pheasant, let's quickly go and get a shot of the pheasant. And we turned around to grab the camera and look round, and as we did, the pheasant had jumped or flown over, across, ran onto the street, and we both just saw it die in front of us. It exploded. That was so weird. I went to film him, I turned around and came back and it's dead. And like, as I'm talking to you, cars are just coming past, they're just running it over and just throwing up the feathers even more. Like, that has really taken the wind out of my sails.
I've never really had pets or anything, so this has to be the closest that I've been to something close to me that I love dying. And I say that because I looked at it and I thought, oh, isn't that lovely? It's a pheasant and it looks beautiful. Dead. Well, on that weird and somber note, we're gonna carry on our little road trip and see what other beautiful sights we can find here in the Cotswolds. Part of me wants to go and get a close-up shot so you guys can actually see, but then the other part of me thinks it's just very disrespectful for the most...
Zero part of me thinks that we should be doing that.
I guess it would just be a little bit insensitive at this time, so soon after he's departed, to be going and filming his dead, lifeless body. So I won't. On the lookout for animals. Look at all these guys.
I don't know how many of you have seen Babe, the movie Babe, but I think I've saw it like once when I was a kid, and it still sticks with me. Every time I see a sheep, I start singing in my head, Bar-ram you,
so do
Bar-ram you. Oh, something sheep be true, Bar-ram you. Never works though.
No.
Wow. Live long and true, buddy. Live long and true.
So we've been driving through this little village called Chedworth, which is very unassuming indeed, and probably about the size of my little finger. You could drive from one side of it to the other in the time it would take you to go through security at one of the Filipino malls. The only thing in the whole village that seems to be open is this pub behind me, which was built in 1610. It looks like an old tavern from Lord of the Rings or something. We went in and you wouldn't believe what was on the menu.
The most middle class thing I've ever seen, fried pheasant. It said Chedworth fried pheasant. So of course, after seeing the pheasant die, I had no other choice but to get it from road straight to my mouth. It was really tough, not as a moral decision, just to eat. It was quite a tough thing, but delicious nonetheless. However, we are now gonna go on our way and go back to the hostel. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. It's a classic. Leave a comment and then subscribe as other people do it. Thank you so much for watching, and there's only one other thing to do.